Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I can't believe that it's 9 o'clock on Monday, the 6th of May. Good morning, James. I am going to make you a moderator. Hey, good morning, Christian. Hey, Ellie. Hi, Ahmed. It's great to see everybody. And it's great to see everybody online as well. Do you know, it is a motivational Monday because it's bank holiday. I can't believe it's already bank holiday. I can't believe we're already in May. I can't believe that we are live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Twitch, on X, on Instagram, and on Clubhouse. Do you know, our reach never got so far, did it? Like, we're literally everywhere, all the time, doing everything. Literally. I can't believe we're here. And you're also in MJ's house. Now, it's Monday, and normally, I'm here at 6 o'clock. What am I doing? It's a bit tardy of me, isn't it? 2 minutes past 9. Listen, I'll tell you this. I thought we weren't even going to be live on the other social medias. I feel like it's bank holiday. I'll tell you what, though. There's one thing that's wrong in Wales. I'm looking out of my window. I'll tell you what's wrong in Wales, shall I? Because that's where we are. We're in Cardiff. We are live and proud and loud and out in Cardiff. And it's not raining. Now, that's not okay. It's bank holiday Monday. It's got to be raining. If it's not raining now, it will be later. It's going to be raining later. And now, if you are here live, please put one in the comments wherever you are. I don't care. Maybe you could put which social media platform you are on. People talk to me afterwards and they send me messages on the back channel. They message me and go, I was listening to you 3.5 weeks ago, MG, about the subject of shame, and this is what was going on. I'm like, all right, thanks for that. You could have, well, maybe they didn't want to talk about shame. We talk about all sorts here, and I'll tell you why. We talk about all sorts here because sometimes people don't talk about the mess in the middle. They might talk about the procedure, i.e., how we get things done. You know, for instance, I'm disabled and I have something called personal independence payment. Now, there's a bit of a trick to understanding how that works. That doesn't mean you have to trick anybody, but it does mean that when you apply for it, you have to know who you're writing to and how you're writing to them and the things you need to tell them. I've met more people this week that have told me that they need to say, I've got ADHD! I'm autistic! I've got mental health problems! I was born with a brain damage! Good. But well, none of them. PIP and access to work and disabled students allowance and all the other marvellous things that disabled people can get when they get to England. None of those are just easy. You can't just do it like on the tin. You can't read the tin and go, oh, there we are. There's green paint in that tin. I'm just going to slap it on the wall. There we are. It's green paint. That's not how it is. That's not how applying for those things are. Now, why do we need motivation? Why are we here? Why are we here on Bank Holiday Monday anyway? Why am I here 3 weeks late? Why am I going on about PIP? Why am I using such a silly voice? Well, I'll tell you why. Because we need some motivation. And I need it. I need some motivation. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I'm disabled. Now, I don't know about you, but it's really bloody hard. I don't care whether you can walk all the time or only walk a bit like me. I can mobilise. I shouldn't. Really, I should not. Like, it is against all the laws in all the world. Like, I had my entire care package taken from me and I wasn't allowed to be an employer because I chose to mobilise onto the hips that are going to go through. Well, I've met somebody whose hips have gone through and it's not pretty and they have to spend a long time in hospital and all right, it's not a plan. But motivation is needed to do anything. So let's not reduce people to doing nothing. On this bank holiday Monday, let's motivate ourselves to do what we can. Maximus is the company actually. The maximum we can do with the minimum interruption into our day, with the maximus bang for buck. Why do we need motivation? Well, we need motivation because sometimes I do too much. Put that one in your pipe and smoke it, as my mum used to say. It's not a good thing to say now, is it? You shouldn't even put it in your vape and smoke it, or you're going to get that popcorn lung. These people that say they've given up smoking, good on you. Now will you stop giving yourself water on the lung? I've had water on the lung. Asphyxiation through inhalation's not a plan. Anyway, just saying. I neither vape nor smoke. But on Mondays, I still need motivation, whether or not I'm using nicotine. And how the hell do I do it? But how the hell do I also not have so much motivation, right? That I end up doing. I read a woman or listened to a man, I can't remember which, but it was some weirdo that's just as obsessed as I am, who did something like, and I'm going to make up the numbers now. I'm going to tell you, I say I'm dyscalculic because I can exaggerate the shit out of something, and I can also minimize the doodle out of something without really meaning to, just because of the dyscalculia. I heard somebody doing so many ultra marathons in so many days on a podcast I heard the other day. I think it was Dr. Ray said that somebody was doing 66 something out of the ultra marathons, or 2 or 3. I don't care. It sounded too much. Yeah. Because they were fantastically motivated. Brilliant. Fantastic. Let's all be motivated. But, if that motivation is at the exclusion of everything else and everybody and everything you've ever done, maybe that motivation's, well, madness. So on Motivational Monday, the day that nobody's motivated to do anything, actually, they're motivated to rest. And that's the thing I have to motivate myself to do. I have to motivate myself to rest. I have to put in procedures for resting. Why? Well, because I'm quite motivated. But the opposite of that is obsessional. And you know that those people that wrote the ICD-10, that's the International Classification of Diseases, number 10, we're about to go up to number 11. Yeah. That book that I've got to learn as part of being a social worker. By the way, I've been reading it years. And the DSM, number 5, not 4. They're the 2 ways that we are categorized, and both of those manuals were used to categorize gayness. Okay, doesn't say how gay you were, because I'm only a little bit gay. I'm not actually gay, I'm queer, which for anybody that doesn't know what that means, it means I'm part gay. Bisexual. The ICD-10 and the DSM-5 categorized my gayness and the fact that I'm part gay, I'm queer, I'm bi, I'm not straight, I'm not homosexual. No, I am no, I'm not homosexual. There we are. I'll get the label right. I'm not heterosexual. I'm bisexual. I'm not transgender because I know I'm a girl. I'm not a cross dresser because I'm not transvestite. I am neurodivergent because I divert from the norm. And neurodiversity is everybody. That's everybody has neurodiversity, because we're all neurodiverse, because we're all different. There's nobody like me. And neurodivergence is diverting. So you can see how labels are really important. And the DSM-IV sought to put those labels in place, and then they change every time, which is why we've got 10 versions and 5 versions. So clearly the first time they weren't right. Different iterations. An iteration. A repeated thing. A thing we do again and again and again and again. And sometimes we get some of it right. That's motivation. And the DSM and the ICD-10, they were motivated to write down why, well, that people were gay. And that was a divergence from the norm. So they were neurodivergent because they thought and acted differently. Neurodivergence has been coined now as a phrase. Judy Singer made it up from neurodiversity. Judy Singer's actually skint. She's one of those people, one of those people that has given their all and told everybody everything free of charge and wrote it down as part of a university, and then everybody's nicked it and then robbed it, and she's been left in the shit. Really. She's also very angry about it and very old. But Judy Singer coined neurodivergent. And of course she's very angry that it's all been changed. But that's different. That's different story for a different day. Why do we need motivation? Well, because as a neurodivergent human, which later on I won't be, I'll just be me, as I am, a person. I said, who am I and what am I? I'm a person first and foremost, actually. Rest of it's just gravy, isn't it? All the understanding. But Judy wanted to understand what neurodivergent was so that we understood that neurotypical, or the norm, or the way to motivate, or the way to move through the world was probably different for me. And it is. It really, really is. So motivation for me is 2 ways up. I am motivated to do, and then I get on a road. It's called a streak, and I don't mean naked, although I will be next summer. I'm going to be naked. I'm going to be naked. I'm going to be naked because I'm going to be on the London Naked Bike Ride at 2025, World Naked Bike Ride, to bring awareness to global issues. And one of those is the fact that the Earth Healer works with me. So I will be naked, and it will be next summer, and I will be on a bike, and I have to be motivated from this point forwards. This time next year will be a powerful day. I can't wait till the 5th of the 5th. I know that's not next year. This day is tomorrow. But the 5th of the 5th, 25. That day will be an important day for me. Just like this week is an important week for me. This week are my finals. This week are the finals. I have to present and prepare a presentation and a poster. I am doing a lot of things. I've been motivated to motivate through the idea I didn't want to do any of it all year. I've been a social work trainee for 3 years now. That's when I applied for the course and got on it. I've been deeply training for 2 years. I was preparing for a year because I had to do. They diverted my place because of my divergence for a year. So I've had 3 years of training, and I'm going into my final training year next year, this year now, after these finals. So I'm going to be going in deep for the next 12 months. And whilst I'm doing that, on this training, deep training, I have to be motivated to get up every morning really early because I have a team to support. And I have teams to support who are also learning. And so motivation's really hard, but also, just like me, they have neurodivergence. And so they find it hard to find that balance. And that's what we're doing together, finding that balance. And so on Motivational Monday, I have already been and met with one of my team members for a great length of time, but that meant that, well, here we are late. But late for what, actually? Just late for what? We're not late for anything, because we are on Monday and we are talking about motivation, and it is indeed still Bank Holiday Monday. So I was only late for a time I'd given myself in a plan that I'd made as I motivated myself towards doing things that I didn't want to do on a day that actually wouldn't it have been good just to lie in bed and do nothing? Not really. Not really. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm really good if I get into a streak, that's exactly what I get into. A streak. A streak of lying in bed and not doing anything. A streak of blaming other people for what I've not done. A streak of feeling that everything's beyond my control. I know a lot of the country is in a discombobulated state. When I say the country, I'm talking about Wales, because I'm reviewing Wales. Obviously, I'm in Wales. I've lived in England for a lot of years, but I'm reviewing Wales. And did you know across Wales that domestic violence incidents are up by 10% every year, year on year? There's a reason for that, because people are frustrated with managing the mess in the middle. The top down, the perspective that we've got of how everything works, the infrastructures, they're hard enough to manage. And in my business and in the charity that I run, they are the mess in the middle. We do help people understand the structures that they're working within, not just access to work. And believe me, I work with access to work. We have a national access to work provision in coping strategy support as we help people circumnavigate the challenges of applying and getting and processing and circumnavigating and organising the infrastructure of the government to help them go to work. Don't let it be said in this country that when they say these feckless, helpless, hapless people in that are disabled aren't working. The reason is because the mess in the middle is really hard to orchestrate, and we need, all disabled people need someone to help them through that mess. And it's not just about what to put the I's and the dot the T's and cross the T's. It's also about coping with that process as you move through it. Both of those things are important. And sometimes there's a top down where you can read the procedure, but the bottom up where you've got somebody to handhold you through that, that's a challenge. You know, the other day I got given a Booper. I bought Booper. Listen, it makes no difference. All right, let me just say you, if you think that the NHS is in a mess, try getting private healthcare. I've just bought it at £120 a month because I had a TIA and I'm desperate. So I was motivated. Motivational Monday. I'll lead into that with this. I was motivated to pay £120 for Booper every month. I'm also paying something called Westfield as part of being in business that I thought might be able to get me a GP that would mean a private GP, which would mean I could get referred to the consultants that I need as soon as I need them, not, 20 months, 30 months, 36, 26, 46 months later. Months later. I had a TIA, and you're meant to see a consultant within a week. You're meant to have all of the stats done within a month, because by the time a month's over, that's the 22nd of April, that would be, there are no more glia showing in the brain as to what happened during that event. So if they don't use imaging early on, you're noodled, because you don't know actually the extent to what happened. And I cannot see a stroke unit until the 4th of June, and my TIA, 3 of them happened on the 22nd of March. I've had to learn my way from bottom up, going and learning through a client I have who happened to have been given a non-verbal client, and so I happened to be reading about aphasia, so I happened to be reading about Broca's area, and therefore I then went to the stroke hub, and I'm now learning the stroke process from the inside out, whilst also supporting a client who I'm learning from the outside in and the inside out, from their perspective, from my perspective, from the perspective of being a trainee social worker, and then from the perspective of being an NHS client in Wales, and now from the perspective of being a private client in Bupa in Wales, trying to access stroke services. And I'm telling you now that unless I have a full-on stroke today and end up in an ambulance and in intensive care, nobody's doing anything, because there isn't anybody to do anything. So I better start learning myself. So that Motivational Monday is about, I have to teach people from the bottom up and the top down in order that they understand the mess in the middle, because neither works independently. In fact, one of my coaches got it really, really wrong about what I believe this morning and said to me, "You don't believe that it should be top down." Yes, I do. I believe it should be top down because we need an infrastructure, and we've got one. No point in me making another one, because the ones that are there, they're the ones we've got to circumnavigate. I can't teach you to circumnavigate systems if I just teach you one system to follow. That doesn't teach iterative process. That doesn't teach repeating yourself. That doesn't teach the mess in the middle. It doesn't teach being your own motivation. Neither does it teach helping you to manage your own levels of motivation and not becoming so obsessed that you forget the story that you're telling yourself. Like people who go on a million diets and believe that they're still working, when clearly the other 99 didn't. Motivational Monday is about being motivated to do what's right for you. But it's also about understanding that that's everybody's affair. I believe that through a disabled person's perspective, we are able to become resilient in ways that maybe we didn't know were there because of our disability. So I spoke to this non-verbal individual that I'm talking about, and I explain that as a disabled person, I've just become nicer the more disabled I've got. So the less I've been able to walk, and the less my hips will work, and the more this left hip does, well, when they cut feeling to it, that was kind of it for me. And then the being forced to use a slide board. All of those things did have the potential for losing my motivation, because I thought, well, why do I bother if I can't? But what can I do? Right? What can I do? Sometimes in a coaching hour, somebody will bring me 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 problems. And in that hour, I have to sift through them and decide for that client what's the most pressing, what's the most urgent thing we've got to get through. The feelings are important, but so are the practicalities. So when we are motivating ourselves on this Monday, when everything went in the wrong order, and I didn't really know what I was going to do, because I thought I was here at 6 o'clock, but I couldn't be because I was in another meeting, and then there was something after that. And well, then what? Do I go back to bed and create that streak again? No, no. I look at what I can do with what I've got. I look at what I can do, what they call in Clubhouse pivoting, what I call just getting on with it. Or is that what my coach Pete's wife called it? Hannah was somebody who I shared some times with, talking about just getting on with it. because she was somebody that met Pete and just got on with it. She was his business partner. She was his wife. She was somebody that he loved very much, and she just got on with it. Even while she was, having a brain tumor and having brain operations and going to America, she was still running the organo business and developing things and helping him create the MI365 and all of those things, because she just got on with it. And I know that, all of that kicked off from about 2015. I think the MI365, I think they went into business together after Pete was in TV. That's fantastic that they made something of what they found, and they found the coffee. That's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching just getting on with it. I'm teaching motivation, but I'm teaching the fact that as a disabled person, you're getting more opportunity for resilience. But you know what they say about going it alone? You can go far. But go together and go with somebody. Go with some people. Go with a gang. Go together, because you'll go much farther. And also go with an open and willing heart. I said to somebody this week, go and do some heart work. They said, what? I said, you've been saying hard work. We've got to work hard. Well, actually, I'd rather you went and did some heart work. I'd rather you went and had a look at who the person is in front of you and what it is they're trying to say, even if you don't understand them. And that includes you. But do you know what that involves? That involves sitting down with yourself. Now, it's interesting that sitting down and listening to myself has become easier over the last 3 years. But my propensity to listen to other people has reduced, I would imagine. When I say that, it's not that I'm not listening. I am. I'm listening harder than I ever have. But the idea that everybody can sway me and move me this way and that on the sea of my life has altered, because my confidence comes from repetition, and my confidence comes from the mess in the middle that has been the result of the things that we've done together. So I've watched the 25 staff I had, I'm watching the 12 people, 13 people, 16 people that I work with, and how that pans out. I'm watching the beehive being made. I'm watching the workers work together and learn systems by which they can orchestrate this. And I'm seeing who's there and who isn't, and who and what and how we all turn up, and how long for and why. And I'm looking at myself. So when I motivate, I have to look at my own reasonings. I have to do deep, deep, deep work on. And by that, I mean literally sitting with my own thoughts. Now that's been improved because I've taken not only my time out every morning, motivation. This is where my motivation comes from, right? It doesn't just turn up. Every morning I get up at 4 a.m. Whatever time you think that is, it doesn't matter what time you get up, just make it the same. Don't matter if it's 2 in the afternoon, just make sure it's the same. And go to bed pretty much at the same time. That's it. Don't matter when. Don't matter when. Just make sure it's the same. Now, if you want to be in business in the UK, you might be best getting up during those times. If you want to be in business in America, it might be you need to change your time scale. If you're like me and you like to do both, well, you might want to do a bit of both, in that, you might spend a night a month that you do that and then change your routine back again. But stay to that. Stay to that. 99 point times out of 10. So stay. That's what I say. Is stay with that, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time if you can. And it was the greatest thing that I've ever heard about sleep in all the years that I've studied it. And I've had to study it because I was terrible at it, really awful at it. Now I sleep like a baby. I don't sleep like a baby all the time when somebody's with me. When there's somebody in the house, that's not quite the same. But the way I set myself up for sleep when I'm on my own is perfect now. I fall asleep within 3 minutes. I sleep the night through. I rarely use the toilet. If I do, there's a problem. There's some discombobulation going on in my system. And then I wake up and go to the toilet immediately. That's because I've got into routine. So that's the first thing I'd say is motivate yourself that way. I'm going to finish in 5. But I'm here on Bank Holiday Monday and I've got up the same way and I've done the things that I've done, because if I don't, I will be at risk of losing my streak. It's okay to make it 3 hours difference because something happened. It's okay, even okay for me to choose not to this week potentially, right? Because it's changed and I don't blame people not being able to be here because they didn't know we were here. But I'm still doing it. I'm still keeping on. I got up at the same time. I went to bed at the same time. I've had that rest. I know what my plan is today. I've got a plan. I've got a diary. I've got my books here. I'm ready to write my assignment. I'm ready to make sure that my practice is contemporary and on point. I'm ready that the individual I support has a way of communicating without his words. There's always a way, but it needs us to be motivated. And it needs us to be motivated whether or not it's the same as everybody else. Like I said, neurodivergent. I'm not the same. And as much as around me I have to mix in with those business times, the day of, when people of business are working and all of that, I'm also allowed to deal with my mess in the middle in the way that I do. I come from adverse childhood experiences. By that I mean that I went through trauma. By that I mean that my parents broke up, my dad went under a bus, I've lost most of my family, I only have one living brother and he doesn't talk to me. I had to turn my dad's life support machine off. I was born with 4 kidneys. I spent a lot of time in the hospital. I've had a lot of operations. I've died a few times. Not throwing it away. I'm not trying to be throwaway. I'm explaining that that's what makes somebody neurodivergent, as well as the brain architecture, that I was born with an organic brain dysfunction present before birth, and that parts of my brain are built differently to other people. That's okay. But all of that in its togetherness means that I have to look at myself individually, and that's what our coping strategy support is. If you come to Accessibility Partners and you happen to be a disabled person with a physical, emotional or psychological challenge, because if you have a job working 1 hour a week in the UK and it's paid work, you can apply through Access to Work through me, through us, through the company that I run. And Access to Work is available. Now, we are incredibly popular because we help people from the day they apply, rather than make them go through the mess in the middle on their own without any guidance or help or support or knowledge or understanding. But that is an individual approach, so it's not something we can just turn into a tin of green paint, get it on the wall. It's just not how it works. There are so many shades of green that even if I did give you a tin of green paint, I'm not sure my green would be your green. So when we are motivated to move through the world in a way that helps us solve who and what and how we are, in a way that allows us to be us in a world that actually perhaps we're a bit neurodivergent in, that involves having to be motivated. And I had to be motivated when I found out that if I was going to be self-employed, that I'd have to make the minimum income guarantee. And I had to be self-employed because when I applied for Access to Work through my work, it took 20 months for them to come back at the beginning. And in the charity that I run, and that's tonight at 7 o'clock, we are together with new coaches and lots of people. And last week there was 19 people came for training. Who knows this week? Let's see. We're coming together to learn how to manage this situation together before we even think about work. Because if we do, and we do some learning, we get the motivation, we understand what we've got to do with our lives for us, not the way, not my green, your shade of green, your shade of purple, your truth, what you want to do. And how? Well, if you're going to be self-employed, and that's what the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club is creating, 100, 1,000, a million, a gazillion, as many as we can, entrepreneurs, and they're disabled people who go into business. Why? Well, most people can't employ disabled people, and if they do, they've got to voluntarily contribute 20% of their £66,000 to their job. And a lot of disabled people, unfortunately, go off sick a lot. They do. Now, that's okay, as long as they are managed on a bed of welfare benefit support. But that can't be the case that all employers employ disabled people and have them at work 6 months of 12 or 2 months of 12, or they don't come back eventually. Then HR have to bring their mechanisms in. So we have to work out how we help people be disabled, be employed, and deal with the mess in the middle at the same time. And that involves, I think, the Entrepreneurs Club. The Entrepreneurs Club is there to overcome the fact that the government want to only help those people in a continuous way. This sounds reasonable, doesn't it? who make the minimum income guarantee in the first year. They're happy to help them in the first year. They're happy to give them the things that they need to help them, well, in the main, to a certain degree. Happy to let them apply for access to work and get it. But if they're not making the minimum income guarantee, then they have to stop it after the first year. And I get that. But it's really hard when access to work don't turn up for ages, and they don't, about 6 months in all. And then usually we're not there, right? Your strategy coping support person is usually turned up at that point once you get your letter. We turn up at the point you apply, which is good because it helps you get that letter. But then when you get that letter, you should already be, making some money. Because if you've got a business, you should be doing the thing that makes you money. Whether that's making leather goods, or whether that's writing websites, or whether that's drawing pictures and creating digital artifacts. Like I've got a lady drawing these now, because look at my drawing. We don't want my drawing, do we? It's just not. Right, and we really don't want to be using other people's, because that's a bit childlike. So I've got a mix of things, and I've got this lady helping me, right, to draw these up, because it's not my cup of tea. Whatever it is, we need paying for that, so we're making that minimum income guarantee. So what do? Well, I help people get the things that they're entitled to. That's how I make what my wear is. So I've got to do that to make the money. And if I'm doing that to make the money, and I'm putting my invoices out, I'm going to make that money. I'm going to make the minimum income guarantee. Access to work isn't going to go anywhere. They're going to let me carry on. When it comes to renewal, I'll get another renewal of my access to work. I'll carry on getting that help and support. But if I'm not making that money, then it'll stop. So we need to help people to be able to make that money before access to work come. Grow together to start practicing their wares, doing a little bit of it, learning iteratively, getting better at it, whatever it is, even if you're trying to draw something but you don't really draw. That's in pain, by the way. I drew. Can't draw, you see. Not well. Look at that. Not even sure. I think it looks like a teapot. Anyway, in pain. So to get out that pain, we need the motivation. But to have the motivation, we need to be able to understand how to be disabled. And in order to be disabled, in my opinion, we need to understand the iterative process of benefits, of welfare benefits, of the work support, of what the government's doing. We have to be a little bit political. And on Monday nights, which is where I'm inviting you to come, in inclusion, which is what you're looking for when you're looking for the house, on Clubhouse, we are talking about all things motivation, all things Monday, all things the beginning of the week, but all things about how we start off, well, with our best foot forward, whatever that is that day, whatever best is that day, because it changes, right? So let's all work together. Let's talk about what we do on a bank holiday. I know that a lot of people do nothing. Like they're like, this is my reset. I'm going to wander about and do what everybody else is doing because I feel like I want to be off. Well, I'm now doing the opposite. I'll be honest. I think if everybody else is going out to the pub, that's absolutely the thing that I shouldn't be doing. But that leaves you in a position where it's quite lonely, alone. I don't know. I'm not lonely, but sometimes I am alone. And in that aloneness, I have to be solid about what I believe in and why I believe in it. And it really can't matter what other people's opinion is, even though I have to listen hard to what people are saying. And like I say, listening to myself, my inner voice, that's been the hardest thing. Listening to my own intuition and understanding what's happening around me has been key. And to do that, I've had to get motivated for all of that magnificent seven, including what I eat. Because believe me, that when we have, I've forgotten where I was there. I've had an email just come in. I was looking at this and then an email came in, so completely threw me. Yeah. Tonight I'll talk about that when we come together, when we have disabilities and we have all of these things, PIP, different competing things. Do we work? Do we not? Do we want welfare benefits? Do we stay on them? What's going to happen? What about UC? I heard it this morning, questions about what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Tell me everything so I can organise my life around it. Well, they're the things we're going to talk about. I hope that we're going to be able to give you a scaffold that allows you some choices in amongst the mess in the middle. You know, for example, although I say that there's a £66,000 cap on access to work, there are lots of ways that that £66,000 cap can be circumnavigated. But they have to be specific situations that specifically need that kind of treatment. And they only get told at a time when they are specifically available. So come on a Monday night, because you'll hear things that might not be useful to you now, but they will be useful to you in the future if you're disabled. And also, they're specific to being motivated in the mess. So being able to dance in the rain, because it's all right being told, oh, well, this is how you meditate. But can you meditate when the poop hits the fan? Can you meditate then? I think that's the magic, right? I think the magic is being able to learn to dance in the rain. And when you're disabled, I think it's pretty much always raining, even if it's Bank Holiday Monday in Wales and it isn't, just to confuse me. I think there's always a chance of rain on Bank Holiday Monday when you're disabled. And I think at that point you need to be able to pivot and do the things that you've got to do, as well as the things that you want to do, whilst you are also to being true to yourself. So that's what I'm trying to do today. Do what I should, do what I want, and be true to myself. And I hope that in this motivational Bank Holiday Monday that you might feel that you've done all of those things, done what you should, done what you want, and been true to yourself. And I think that pretty much sums up for me where I am this motivational Bank Holiday Monday. I know where I am in the middle. My mess in the middle is writing this assignment and this poster and making sure that I'm ready for Thursday, where I'm delivering that twice, once to the university and then once to the workforce in the afternoon. And I will be finishing with my Fantabulous Friday, in that this week I will definitely be thinking about next weekend as something to mark a line in the sand. I've got one more assessment after that, which is the week after. That's one of four, the last one. But my final go and deliver to everybody is this Thursday, and after that I've got one more assessment and lots of this portfolio writing in the next 5 weeks. Lots of things to do. It's not over till the fat lady sings, and I aren't singing yet. But I am motivated to be here on Monday, and I'm motivated to be here Monday night after I have written this beautiful PowerPoint presentation and fantabulous poster that's already ready almost to be printed tomorrow morning. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send it to the printers tomorrow morning, ready for Thursday. They need 24 hours clear. Perfect already before I've even begun. Just like tonight, when you come along, there's a link. I'm sure that can be put into the chat. I can get that for you if it isn't, and you can come to the Monday night inclusion room. If we can put that in the chat, that'd be good. Always, you should be donating to the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club, and if you're not, share the link, share it weekly, share it daily, share why you're sharing it, share what you think of inclusion, share what you think of AP, share what it does to you on a daily basis. Listen, the reason that I got a hand cycle, the reason we have the Disabled Entrepreneurs Club, the reason this existed is because I went into Clubhouse every single day in a million rooms and got fundraising for that bike, and that's why we're here. It's why on Friday the charity was reconstituted. It's why it will be 12 years old next summer. It's why we exist, because we've been motivated every day in every way to make this amount creep closer and closer together, because we are better together. So if you want to come tonight at 7 o'clock, have a look in the link in the chat. If it's not there, I'll get it and put it there in a second. And it's not going to be on here because I haven't got it on here. Somebody should put it somewhere, Facebook or Twitter or Twitch or somewhere. I can't, not while I'm doing this. And then again on Clubhouse. And if you'd like to donate to the Entrepreneurs Club, please go to the link there again. I'm not on social media, so I'm just delivering that those of you that are, you can always put those in the chat if you're around and you know that you are. And don't leave it for somebody else, because you do know that means it doesn't get done. I used to say that in Yale. That's a charity that's been reconstituted. I used to say, I've just been to the toilet and there's no loo roll. Can you find out who left it? And they're like, what? What? Why would you want to blame? I'd just like to know who they left it for. I'd like to know who they left replacing the toilet roll for, and why they didn't think while they were sat on their ass that they could change it right there and then. Just saying. So on this Motivational Monday, I think you have to be motivated to change the toilet roll, even if you don't think it's your job, because I think you're going to use the toilet roll later on. And if you're not, come and tell me why, because I'm not sure you need to be at work. Okay, so on this Motivational Monday, are you motivated to change your toilet roll? That's my question to you, James.
Oh yeah, I'm so motivated, and I was just looking at last month's calendar because it's finally given permission to head back to the gym, and this week is the third week of these visits. It's the fourth week. It's the third week where I've managed to do. This will be the third week where I've managed to do 2 visits a week. So that means next week I have a little reward for myself. I go to the gym 3 times in the week, which is possible because there's not a 7-day bus service. But just like I'm having a holiday today, I understand that my wonderful bus drivers need to get their recuperation time in, because driving on the road is hard work, and it's even harder if you've got a WAV, because your vehicle MJ is remarkable, and it's like sailing a boat. So I'm setting sail for 3 visits to the gym next week, but it's just going to be 2 this week, and at the end of that week I'll be able to see my physio and give him the good news that I've gone 3 times since I saw him the month before, when he give me the rubber bands and give me the instructions of what to do. And I followed them to the best of what I could at the time. And now I'm reaping the rewards in that it's 3 times. And I'm looking out there and I see that my paint must be green tranquil down, because I am down, but I'm not out at the moment. I'm building a stronger me with pretty remarkable recovery. So I loved where you were at this morning with everything you said about being motivated, because I know that I do need to take time out and have these rest periods at the moment, and it does seem that I'm getting them quite right in that next week I know that I'll achieve free, because I've got them highlighted on my calendar so that I know exactly when and where, and each one for the month's been highlighted in. So on the 31st, on Friday the 31st, I'll be hitting my 15th visit to the gym, which I know I'm really pleased with, because the type of spinal injury that I got at the beginning of the year, to be at where I'm at now, you've got to carefully plan all your moves. You really have, and it's what I've learned from you, MJ, and your team is it's those incremental gains in the planning. So when I was on the hospital ward, I was already visualizing my cycling, and one evening when I got removed from one side room to another because someone further down the corridor was in quite a distressed state, they gifted me this next side room, and it had a picture of the moors with this big rock that looked like a giant man surrounded by a layer of rocks that looks like a man surrounded in lavender. And I looked at that picture and I had like lavender oil in the room.
Wow.
So the pillow got a blessing, and I could picture my bike on that, my Dolores on that rock in the future. And I could already smell it. So I knew that at some point I will cycle up the moors and find that rock. I dare say I'll be asking Google where it is, but I will find that location out, and one day I will be up there, probably next summer, I suspect. But I have a new bike stand on order for Dolores, and she will be standing to attention in the next couple of weeks, ready for me to await instructions as to when when my cycling and driving ban because of the injury is out and I'll be back on the bike. I've no real desire to get behind a steering wheel. I prefer the handlebars, so I'm planning all ahead for that. And as I say, it'll be 15 at the end of the month, and a bike stand installed at some point in between then. And I'll be heading for that delivery later on in the month. But I'm looking forward to seeing the specialist later this month, because he's brought my appointment forward 2 months. Your follow-up, I was told, would be something like 6 months after the anniversary date, and the one I've got is about 4 months and 3 days after. 3 days after he was putting the titanium parts in my spine. So my recovery is going well, but it's all down to, as you say, your belief structures and how you motivate yourself to move forward. I knew that I will be back on this bike and soon, and I know it now through the growth in my shoulder muscles and my neck. I'm not feeling much pain at all, and the pain I am feeling is usually the day after the gym, which is the good pain. It's that growing pains. So I know I'm going to be on the saddle sooner than a lot of other people were predicting, and that's perfectly fine because it wasn't their job to do my job, and my job is repairing myself so that I can move forward into a much brighter future, because it certainly was. Them first couple of days was like, well, this position is not acceptable. The fall was my fault. It was my mistake, and I've learned from that, and I'm now rebuilding and moving forward. And I'm looking forward to the journey tonight at 7 p.m. in Clubhouse, just to see where the next adventures take us, because it's going to be an exciting year, MJ. And thank you for letting me have the stage and the mic this morning. Have a fabulous thingy. I managed to get all the washing dry, so the 3-hour sabbatical was perfect for me. It was just what I needed. All of the ironing is folded and away, and the gym towels are even in the nice rack ready for Jim's visit to the showers at the gym tomorrow. But I'll not be having the January slip. I'll put my flip flops on and take it easy. But yeah, thank you again for this morning, and great to hear and see everybody in the room. I'll let you take the mic back. Thank you, MJ.
Oh, you are always welcome, James. Do you know, I just think that they reckon that the older you get, the less you say, because of the more that you see. And I didn't understand. I had a friend called Alistair who said to me when I was 17, "Oh, Mandy Jane, you are a feisty young Arian," as in Aries, the ram. Well, I'm a Pisces Aries. I'm a watery ram. I'm just on the cusp of Pisces and Aries, which for anybody that knows is a fish, is a Pisces, and an Aries is a ram. So I'm a watery ram. I'm an energetic fireball, right? I go through the mess in the middle. I am the grease that oils the parts, and the reason for that is because I've lived a long time having to chameleonize as a neurodivergent person into every kind of situation that I found myself in. It wasn't that I was good at people, it was that I learned them. And I think what I've seen with you, James, is not a predisposition to have a naturally an easy way with the world, or that you've found the world to be an easy thing to work in. And I think for anyone that's ended up on the edges of places, the edges of employment, the edges of the legal world, on the edges of the the contractual world, whatever it is, those that have become divorced, that's a a frustration of a contract. That's what it is at the end of it. All of those people, and I know you're not somebody that's been divorced like me a million billion times, actually twice, but it just feels like that. But when you go through those processes, they hone you. And I think that we are all a different journey and a different outcome of those processes. But what I see in you, James, and I think that Pete also saw it, what I see in you is a stoic nature. Your name and who you are and where you come from and your background and where you are in the world is you are a warrior, a Wigan warrior. You're a warrior in more than one sense, but you're a warrior in that you are a warrior in that you were, but you're worrying, you've turned to worrying, to being a warrior of your worry, understanding that that's how people are, you too. And you've circumnavigated those worries and your worrying family, we all worry, into a warrior's tendency and tenacity and resilience and motivation and process. And that mess in the middle isn't always perfect, and hopefully not, because how can you motivate people who feel that they have your worries and that they need to take up your capability to be a warrior or a warrior, a champion? It's hard, but what I see from you is that not that you get it right all the time for you or by you. You said you made a mistake and that was your mistake. Well, do you know what? You've taken all your mistakes on the chin, James, and that's where we should take mistakes. We should also then forgive ourselves for not knowing at the time. However, right, you are a champion. And of course you're going to be in that lavender field. And absolutely you could already smell it. I knew that Yell would be reconstituted before it was even dissolved. I laid in the hospital, and when I knew that it was all going to bed, that they decided that they wanted to see why the annual return hadn't come back, and I couldn't send the annual return even though there was money in the bank, because I couldn't access it, because there wasn't time. I was in hospital and they had a power of attorney and a DNA on me, and I went, we'll have to sort it later. And now's later. So whatever you need to sort as a result of the accident that happened, of the mistake that you reckon you made, which is perfectly natural because you can't know what you don't know till you don't know how slippy something is until you slip on it. You don't even know the soap's there sometimes, particularly if somebody's put the soap there deliberately, and that can happen too. So whatever happened to you, however it happened, whatever happened, I'm not saying anyone dissed you, I'm just saying we don't know and we can't predict. You are recovering from it like a boss, but you're recovering because you believe in your process. Your process is what you imagine, and you've learnt from some of the greatest. You're a good scholar. I see it. Your scholarship is good, it's solid. You've learnt from many people that I've also interacted with. A solid scholar creates a beautiful future for themselves. You are on track and you're on the right team. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I would think it was the right team. I'm in it. Honest. But I do. You're on the right team and we're going in the right way. There's lots of ways to go. But I don't think that we need to remain in pain. I think we need to work together. And if those people want to come to inclusion tonight, not only is the link in the chat for those on social media, and we've only got 5 minutes to go, and I'm going to hand that to Christian, the director of inclusion. I'm also wondering if James would like to direct inclusion, just as a question right now, but that'll be something that he can answer later. I'm not going to ask him to answer that straight away. That's something that literally is just something that I feel is an important thing right now. That we join together tonight at 7 o'clock after I've done this mess in the middle. I'm writing all about safeguarding and about the right to communicate and the right to get out and about and the right to the built environment and the right to be as well as we can, doing what we can, like I said, not trying to make somebody only use a slide board always so that it justifies me not having an accident on their watch, But this person that I'm talking about having the right to get out in the community with support at the moment not being allowed to. No matter what he's got going on, even if he, can't talk, can't walk, we've got whatever, doesn't matter what's going on, we need to be able to get out. I need to be able to get out. James needs to be able to get out with a broken neck. Christian needs to be getting out with using one hand, and needing help. Somebody else driving at the moment because he doesn't drive yet because nobody helped him to have a disabled car like mine. Sounds dodgy. I haven't got a disabled car. I've got a car that has adaptations for me because I'm the one with a disability. Can't use my left leg, right? Pardon me. Oh dear me, at all. It's noodled. It's just pants. It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it easy, although we all manage. I reckon somebody should take it off one day. But they won't until it goes gangrenous. And I say until as if it's going to. That's rubbish. But I know how it is to struggle at one side. And I find it. Christian does amazingly. He stands up, he walks around, he doesn't use sticks. It just amazes me. And James has a broken neck, but he's wandering about with a neck brace. Fascinating. I've got EDS and all sorts of other things. I've had the feeling cut to the bottom half of my left side, deliberately because my hip was dislocated to an extent that it was put around the back of my head. But I've managed to work through that, not through it, but with it. So I use a wheelchair, I use a number of wheelchairs. I use a slide board. I manage, but they replace my mum's hips. They won't do mine because I have the bone condition that means you can't screw into them properly. It's all very difficult, but do you know what? That's what we're here to challenge, the fact that I have to stay motivated, even if it is difficult. And I know it's hard for you, Christian, but I just want to say at this point, I'm grateful for you. I'm just grateful for you. And my motivation comes from an element of gratitude too, for the team that I've got around me. And I know we wouldn't be pulling in this potential without you. So thank you for the unpaid work you do today and for the paid work you do that helps everybody in this room, well, and others, if they want to, access the things that they should have through access to work. So thank you for that.
You're more than welcome, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to do it all. Yeah, it's think about what everybody said this morning. It's just everything we do is just literally about letting us get out there and just be us and experience, and despite all our various challenges and with our various difficulties of accessing the world, that's all we want, is just to access the world and just to live life to the fullest that we can, whether that's whatever we do. And it shouldn't be that it doesn't help anybody to put a barrier in our way, really. It's not nobody. It doesn't make anybody's day better because James says it was his fault slipping in the shower. Well, maybe it was, but it's not. It happened, and he's been amazingly worked through it very stoically and considering it and everything that you've gone through in your life, but all we want is an equal opportunity to do things, whether that's and without that sort of attitude of, oh, are you sure we should be doing that? Yes, because that's what we want to do. Nobody no normies, as some people know call them, it gets asked, are you sure you should be, going out and doing the garden? It's, you just do it. And I know in some respect, can be, people can see it as caring for people and looking after, making sure you're all right. But if we want to do it, if Trey wants to go to, Berlin and join the electronic music festival or concert, well, then Trey should go.
Yes.
That's what Trey wants to do.
Yes.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
It is quite irrelevant what anybody thinks about that, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference. Okay, we might need, an adaptation. You'll be adapted to help, but everybody needs an adaptation in life anyway. Nobody, no matter what you're born, nobody's born with a, you have to make choices, You have to make choices no matter what you are doing, the direction you're going. And that's probably the point of the biggest problem with somebody with a disability. Is some people want to take those choices away from you. They want to mould and say, well, you can't. But well, why? So if you want to do it, and you want to fly, you want to do a handbike marathon, you want to cycle from Wigan to Wales, well,
Get on with it. Let's help you.
get on with it.
Let's do it.
But you want to go to work, which is the most basic human right. If you want to go,
So.
You want to go to work. And I never didn't want to go to work in all the 25 years it took me to actually manage it. Nobody wanted me to go to work, and now I'm quite happy, helping everybody, and it's, and I'd do it anyway. And the fact that I get paid for it is a bonus in my mind, really. And I like helping people. I like getting the equipment. It's, don't tell anybody, but it's actually quite fun.
You see, listen.
If you don't tell the boss, I like my
job. I won't tell her, because I tell you what, she might take advantage of you if you go telling her you enjoy it. I've heard about her. I'm not going to tell her either. I enjoy every second of it, and I'll tell you why, even the hard bits. But the reason I enjoy them is because I know that what I'm doing is I'm helping people understand a way of managing being disabled and being in it and going through it and being okay. So on a Monday night, I'm not being funny, but on a Monday night, certainly after Monday nights as well, a lot of people, and the new ones, a lot of people will say, I'm really glad that we get together. Thanks for that. Because every week I know that even if I've not spoken to somebody for a week, it can be that I can drop in and listen to that, and I don't feel like my world's ended. It just feels like I'm in a bit of a mess and I might be able to do something about it. Like, even if all I listen is like somebody's done something, like Alexia's got an OMI out, or Andrew's just got a new job and now he's a whatever instead of a whatever, or somebody's just got on a bus that they didn't do, or somebody else has just got, I don't know, we just had BASWA, we're going to do online BASWA this year, and this is the second year we've presented. All those wins, those little wins, they just keep you going for the other week, for the rest of the week, I think. That's what I'm hearing from people. That's what that's what you do when you do for nothing, when we do for nothing, whatever nothing is, because it doesn't matter to me whether I'm being paid or not. But when we share that, those wins help us move forward. The idea that Yale's reconstituted, the idea that the 12 years continues, that inclusion now has a home, a bank account, a history, a borrowing capability, a learning, a group of people like Vicky, who's still part of inclusion, right? Let's remember, Vicky was part of inclusion. Vicky created in Yale the 10 people that went on to be university students. We've got one that's doing their PhD now that started on a level 3 openings qualification that the charity began, and 10 people now went through university. They got to do what they went to do, and now they're doing it for a living, and some of them have got a doctorate out of it. Like, me and Vicky put that on for 500 quid. 250 Yale paid. We put 250 in, and I raised that money. I raised that money. I think I did a sponsored silence. No, I'm lying to you. We did a dinner, and the man that cooked the dinner that raised the money had cancer, and we helped him get access to work. He's called Andy. Not cancer, kidney failure. He's still on dialysis. He's called Andy, and he's a cordon bleu chef. And he put on an evening down at his restaurant that's not there anymore because he had to have his kidney failed. But he put on a dinner, and the money from that, we made 250 quid. We all got together at the diner, had a dinner, had a night, did some stuff on the mic, did a bit of singing, all that malarkey. Made the 250, and then Vicky and I applied to the University of Hull to their lifelong learning, and we got 50 quid, 250 quid. And that 500 quid we put together, and upstairs in Yale, because obviously my business paid the rent, but upstairs in Yale, we always put Yale on a weekend. They always had the Saturday group for autistic individuals, and there they created things. And in that weekend, we designed that 10-place weekend course, and it was for 12 weeks. and we got people in from the university, and me, I lectured, and the university people that I knew, and some of the people from the art degree, and Vicky, who was an art student, who she just graduated from that degree through DSA and through Access to Work, through our services. And we put those on, and 12 people went through, 10 people went on to university. That's a big percentage of people that went through. They presented a portfolio after the 12 weeks that they did. They were given the sketchbook and 50 quid's worth of materials each. So those 12 places actually were 600 quid. We must have had 100 quid from somewhere because we literally spent the money on them. We got 600 quid. We must have got it because we paid. That's what we paid out. We gave them 50 quid of materials. They came to the event. The 12 people, the people that put the event on, all didn't get paid for those 12 weeks, which, you know, nowadays is not acceptable, but people gave of their time. Sometimes people give that money back when they're giving it now. So we offer it them, and then if they choose not to take it, they don't have to, but they can. That's what I'm doing with Basler. I'll be donating it to Inclusion if I'm given anything. Which I don't think I am, but if I would, I'd hand it to Inclusion. And we put that on, and 12 people went. 10 of them went to university. They went on and got their interview at university, and it was just a little different iteration of the job I had at the University of Hull anyway, for the Centre for Lifelong Learning, where we went into care homes and we went into village halls, and I say we, I mean me, went into village halls, and I put 12 laptops together, and I sold a course that they could get free if they filled in a form with me, and they had certain welfare benefits or certain income levels, and I used to evidence all that. And then they'd sign up. Those that couldn't they'd get funded, or they'd pay for themselves, and they could pay over the weeks. And that year-long course got them into university in a year. It took a year. 120 credits in ICT, in IT, computer program skills. It was called the University of the Wolds, and it was created by Stuart Broadhurst, and he was a genius in the Centre for Lifelong Learning. And I got that job, and then that's how I learned how to network laptops. It's how I learned how to do, more IT. I was doing my degree in IT at the time. I was learning Office, a Microsoft Office user specialist. I was a mouse expert. I used to deliver all that. So this version in Yale was just a little version of a much bigger game. And we got 12 people into an art degree. And that literally is the way that I see all kinds of funding and community vision, is that when collaborative, we put together any kind of money that can be procured in an honest and sensible way, to be able to create new happenings that create answers to problems, like widening participation and helping people understand PIP and helping people declutter their house. We have a lot of hoarding problems in neurodivergence, so that decluttering, helping understand our money and knowing what the balance is and all of those things, they're a lived experience. So I believe that Yale being reconstituted, Vicky still being around, Vicky having now had a stroke actually, but she already had her welfare benefits in place, of course, because she was already part of Yale, and she's learned how to be disabled effectively. She's now got a daughter in her life. She's living with her. She's successful. She's just become an expert by experience, level 3. She has a degree in art. And she was going to be a Russian ballet dancer, for the Tolstoy ballet, but that didn't work out because she was neurodivergent. But those people been around that have been around 25 years, or however long it's been, 20 years, Fran 20, they're the story of Yale SOS, of Shout Help. But we've moved from Shout Help to Inclusion over that quarter of a century. From Shout Help to Include Us. From help, I can't be seen or heard or valued, to, right, I know who I am, I trust what I do, and I know where I'm going, and I deserve to be here because I'm the same as you. Now, if we can go in the next 25 years to, what do you mean you need including? Of course you do. You're a part of the human race. That'll do. That'll do. And maybe, with the changes that I've made, maybe I will get to see the next 25 years. Because we are responsible for our own behaviour, and we are responsible for learning, and we are responsible for taking it on the chin, James, when we make a mistake and saying, I didn't know that fruit was a carbohydrate. I didn't know. Nobody told me. I didn't know that I couldn't have a whole punnet of grapes when I wanted one. It's fruit, isn't it? What are you on about? Like, I was that basic. So honestly, if you don't know, you don't know, do you? You think that if you eat grapes all day, you'll be all right, you won't get fat. Well, I was wrong, because I did. I mean, I'm not joking. That's not just all I ate. But you know what I'm saying. I needed to learn. So that's what we're doing in inclusion. Come tonight and learn some more. And then, of course, on Saturday, we're at 7 tonight, even though we were at 9 tonight. This morning, it's all mixed up now. 9 this morning, 7 tonight, and 8 on Saturday. We've lost the 6. Where the 6 is, I don't know. Maybe we're going to be going 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll tell you. It's just going to be like, it's going to be a full-time job soon, this talking for a living. I'm just going to be talking for a living for a full-time job. There'll be none of that social work or anything. It'll just be international stages and a million people at once and half-an-hour slots. I mean, doing nothing again, isn't she? I've been told to make it look like I've done it easily. Right, guys. Well, you what, my love?
Just one quick thing.
Everything.
You mentioned you did a sponsored. You got it wrong and said it was a sponsored silence. There's one thing I don't think you should ever do is a sponsored silence. You've got too much to say. Are we doing that?
I don't know. Maybe a sponsored silence is how we procure the next event and the next happening, because possibly people would want to promote that more than anything else. You see how polite I can get. I'm not saying that they want me to shut the phone up, but I think maybe they do.
It's one way of getting into trouble.
Shut the oh. If she shut up, I will literally pay her £1,000.
You might get more votes than they got recently for that one.
Maybe I should just shut the up. I think that's fantastic. I think I should just shut up. That's what I think. Shut up. I think I should just shut up. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not going to shut up. You're right. I've got too much to say. Hey, Joe. Hey, Matt. Hey, Duncan. Now, we have been in Motivational Bank Holiday Monday. We're every Monday. It's just I'm a bit late today. I'm late because I was in the mess in the middle. I was in a staff meeting and it went on a bit like me, going on a bit. We are planning on me doing a sponsored silence, apparently. We're not. All right, that's just a joke. I've just made that up because I don't want to do a sponsored silence. I absolutely don't want to shut up for a month. I don't want to be silent for August. It's not what I'm going to do. I won't be raising money for Yell or Inclusion or anybody else. I'm lying, I probably will. But what I am doing at the end of June is I'm going to be doing sit down for 5 minutes. Because I always do it the wrong way up, you see? Doing sit down.
Yeah, but so every time you say you're not going to do something, you end up doing it.
Well, that's a bit of a problem for August. I was planning on talking during August. Thank you very much.
So you're definitely going to do it. You're definitely doing it in August.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely not. I'm definitely not going to do that during August. I have plans for August, mate. Well, I haven't actually made them yet. Well, I don't know what the plans are for August because I didn't make them, you see. I left the angels allowing to be playing around in August. God knows what they've created. But yeah, I'm at the curve. I think it's the 29th, but I'm going to find out. 29th of June. So next month, we've already got, we've got Baswell on the 19th. The 19th of June, I think it is. We're online. I'm going to have to check these dates. You see why I need a PA? I need my dates sorting because I'm crap at this. That's why I've taken people on. I'm really not good at it. It's a dyscalculia. Yeah, next month we're on Baswell online at their conference, whenever the Baswell conference is. If you need to know, look up the British Association of Social Workers. We are 2 till 3 o'clock, I think, on the Tuesday afternoon. But anyway, I'm going to get those details. We are online. We're talking all things voice. So it is actually LLAIS, which means voice in Welsh. I just can't say it yet. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's something like hens, but I can't do it. But I say it says lace, but it also says voice. So really, tomato, tomato, potato, potato. It is by any other label, us going on a bit. And funny that we're doing voice in June. Yeah. Then in July, we're doing Independence Day and the crowning of the disabled entrepreneur on the 4th of July on Independence Day in Sunderland at Disability Rise North. And then, of course, in August, well, I'm just going to shut up. That's what's happening, apparently. I didn't know, and I didn't make it up. You couldn't make this stuff up. But I do know that we are raising that disabled entrepreneur, and then in August we're going to have to raise the next one. Because it's all right having one on the road, but we can't have it on its own, can we? It's like buying a goldfish and expecting to go around the tank all on its own. We can't have a disabled entrepreneurs club with one disabled entrepreneur. It's not a club, is it? It's not a club. It's just a person. So we're going to have to start raising the next one. And we haven't even finished the first one. So come along and see the first one crowned. Help us raise some more money. And then, of course, you can sponsor me to shut the flip up to tape my mouth in August. I think that's what I need to do, is just tape my mouth for the whole of August. Look, I'm making it up as I go along now, but if you want to be in inclusion tonight, come along. Inclusion's just been reconstituted. It's going to be 12 next year. How wild is that? That it's just got reconstituted and suddenly it's 12. That's what we call time travel. I did tell everybody that time did not exist. And I am correct, because inclusion's 12 next year, and it only began as an idea that we had on Clubhouse in the last 3. Fascinating to me how time waits for no man, and literally it doesn't exist either. I've been Mandy Jane. I've been here in my house. I like canning my house on a Monday morning, usually at 6. Today it was 9. Tonight we're in inclusion at 7. That's normal. And then we'll be going over to our channel, whichever direction we've decided to make that this week, at 8. And we're meeting some new staff and some workers, and we're working together with some new people that have been around everywhere. People from the Muscular Dystrophy Club, some other people, some people that are working with AP, us, you. It's pretty much a free-for-all tonight. Don't feel you've got to be disabled to come. We've got allies, we've got carers, we've got parents, we've got mothers, we've got facilitators, we've got specialists, we've got coaches, we've got doctors. I mean, you name it. We're all there. So don't feel like you can't come, because you can. Everyone's included. It has an us right in the middle of it. That means all of us. So let's just break down these barriers, get over ourselves, get together, make the differences. Think about that PhD student that's now, and the one that's got a private psychotherapy business and all sorts of things. Come and make that magic, because by 2030, 30% of the jobs we have now don't exist. We're making them up between now and 2030. So come and make some jobs up with me on this Motivational Monday. I'm starting a 30-day program as well. It's part of my coaching program. I'd like to see what my coach Pete Cohen's done with his new program. I'm looking forward to hearing it. The first one was genius, fantastic, amazing, incredible, and he's done the back of this one. I think, I have oppositional defiance disorder. I think it needs investigating. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's created, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you as I learn it, because that's what I do. I share what I learn, because I love you all. And even if we can't do 30 days together, by the time I've banged on about it for 3 years, you'll have had all 30 days, I can assure you, because I can't help but tell you about it. So come and hear my version of his version of life. And I tell you what, his downloads from all the people that he's had supporting him, his pedigree is outstanding. And so's mine. So's mine. Come and meet with people whose pedigree is outstanding, and create new versions of yourself. So inclusions tonight at 7 o'clock. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm going to go and write my assignment now. You can see how long I've taken it. I've taken it off. I've had another 20 minutes just to procrastinate a bit more, just in case I haven't written it yet. And here I am, 30 years on, not left university, and still I'm procrastinating about writing my assignment. So if you procrastinated a bit today, remember, it's Motivational Bank Holiday Monday. You're allowed to be a bit naughty today. Allow yourself a little bit of naughtiness in between today, and you'll feel like you did something, I don't know. Have some grapes. Then you'll feel naughty, won't you? Have a fantastic day. I hope it's all been fantabulous. Be you. Be there at 7 o'clock, and come and see how you can help, because I can't do this on my own, seriously. But we are sorting out the mess in the middle. Have a great day, everybody. Let me know if you need anything. Bye-bye.